Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Yes, it's my face again for another day of first impressions. Y'all, so much. All the releases. But this one's an exciting one because it is a Halloween release. I'm not a big Halloween person. It's just, you know, I grew up in Trinidad. We didn't really have Halloween. That wasn't a thing. So it doesn't speak to me as much as it does other people. But I recognize and I respect the love that Americans have for Halloween. So I'm not mad at it, but it's August and we're already seeing the Halloween releases, and today I'm going to be doing a first impressions on the Ghost Town palette from Nomad Cosmetics. I did receive this in PR and I do have some exciting news, but before we dive in, if this is your first time watching me, I am Jamila. I love all things beauty, I love all things makeup and skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end, luxury, and indie makeup at the best prices. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the fam. Okay, so like I said, I did receive the Ghost Town palette from Nomad Cosmetics in PR, and drum roll please, you don't have to drum roll, I'm officially an affiliate with Nomad now. Now you're like, what does that mean? If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've had a code with Nomad Cosmetics for some time now, and if you shopped using my code, you would get a discount off of the product, but I didn't make any money off of that. It was simply a code that allowed you to save money while you shopped from the brand. Now, being an affiliate with the brand, it means that every time you guys shop, I get a small commission. You still get to save money, but now I get a kickback that allows me to put it back into the channel so that I can continue making content for you guys. So it's really exciting because honestly, the reason why I have this code is a testament to the fact that you guys enjoy the videos, you shop, like it really is because of you guys that I am able to have this opportunity. That being said, there is zero, zilch, nada, none, not a drop of pressure to shop or to shop using my code. There are tons of other creators that have non-affiliated codes, as well as others that do have affiliated codes. Please feel free to shop however you feel comfortable. You do not have to use my code if you are no longer comfortable with it being affiliated, and you do not have to use my codes on any of my platforms or brands that I have codes with. It really is up to you. I don't take it any kind of way. There are no hard feelings here. All I ask is that you use a code or somebody's code so that you save money. That's the bottom line, is I want you guys to save as much money as possible, but it doesn't have to be through my code. But you know, I'm very transparent about this content creation thing. I'm learning as I grow and as I go along, and I want to make sure that I continue to be transparent with you guys. So now that my code is affiliated, I want you to know that that means I will get a kickback. All right, so told you guys all of that fun jazz. Let's get into the palette because that's what y'all are here for. So the Ghost Town palette, like I said, this is the new release from Nomad Cosmetics. I'm not even sure when this is launching because they sent this to me about a week ago before they actually really started saying when this would be released. So let me quickly check the website to see if we have a date. Okay, so it says on their Instagram, that the palette will launch Tuesday, August 29th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is going live on Tuesday. This video should be up today, which is Sunday. No, Saturday. Jesus. Now, I don't see any details on price on Instagram, so once I have those, I will try to insert that for you guys. But let's get into the specifics. As you guys know how I typically do, I'm going to give you product details, swatches, and I'm going to do 3 looks for you guys today. 3 looks, which is not typical for me, but I wanted to show you every single eyeshadow in this palette, so I literally use all of the shades. So you'll get 3 looks from me and my final thoughts. So, product details. So the Ghost Town palette actually comes in this box, and then when you pull it out, this is the palette here. It has a very similar packaging to the last Halloween palette they did, which was Haunted Europe, in that the imagery shifts depending on how you hold the palette. So this is the regular tone, Ghost Town. And I think that that's actually pretty darn cool. Product details on the back of the palette. There will be additional details on the website when it is released, and you can see all of that. And there's also going to be a postcard that comes with this. Now, because they did send this to me pretty early in comparison to the launch date, they did reach out and say that the cards didn't come yet, so they were waiting on the postcards to come in. So I'm going to get my postcard after the fact. Cannot wait to see what the postcard looks like, but I'll get the postcards after the fact, so I'm sorry I don't have that to show you guys right now. And the postcard typically does have some additional details. So this is the back of the box where you'll see the shade names as well as a little bit of information about the palette and the destination that it's inspired by. One thing that I also don't think I have here is the charity that they'll be supporting. Oh, wait, no, I think it is. Yes, I think it is. So here, and as you know, if you've been shopping from Nomad, you know that they typically donate, or they have always donated about 5% of their proceeds from each palette that they release to a foundation that is at the destination that the palettes are inspired by, which I fully appreciate. If you are somebody that travels, and you know this, if you are visiting a specific country, a specific destination, we need to be respectful of that culture, that place. And if you're making money off of that destination, I think it's only fair to give back to it. So I appreciate that they actually do that with every single palette release. And on the box, it says that they are proud supporter of Birds of Prey at the Parisienne Fund. So I'm going to assume that that is the foundation or fund that's going to benefit from the proceeds from this palette. Okay, let's dive into the details that are on the box because, again, I don't have the postcard to give you guys additional details. And I'll pop up some swatches. It's going to be some B-roll because it's been a busy week. I don't have time for live swatches. I'll pop up some B-roll of some swatches so you guys can see what they look like on my complexion. I'm a medium deep complexion with a yellow golden undertone. So just for context, that's what I am. So, and I don't think I even opened the palette for y'all. So this is the palette. When you open it up, it's absolutely stunning. We have 3, 6, 9. So 9 shimmers, 9 mattes. And I apologize that I am showing you guys this after I've done all of my looks. So all of the beautiful embossing is gone, but you'll see it at the start of the first look. There are some high level details on the back here as well. Including the shelf month and the shelf life, and that this is cruelty free and vegan. So it says this is designed on location, ghost hunting in America's Old West. Proud supporter of Birds of Prey at the Parisienne Fund. So it says that this is an intense eyeshadow palette, which makes me think that some of these are going to be pressed pigments. So if you have sensitivities, please make sure you check the website to see which shades have pressed pigments and which don't. It might actually be on the box here in very tiny writing. Yeah, so the ingredients are here. My eye's not built like that no more. And then you also have some additional information here. Anyways, on the box it says, a color story of gritty hues and precious metal highlights formulated with extra fine pigments for smoother than silver feel and richer than platinum payoff. Infused with prickly pear cactus seed oil to help keep colors fresh no matter what dusty town you ride into. 9 cool as sterling mattes and 9 glitzy as gold shimmers inspired by the ghostly towns of the Wild West. So the destination is American Frontier. The coordinates are haunted towns and abandoned mines. And the inspiration, there's ghosts in these hills. There's ghosts in them hills. Along a desolate and unforgiving frontier rest abandoned mining towns of America's Wild West. These settlements, once bustling with gunslingers, gamblers, and gold diggers, still lay intact hundreds of years later, long after fortunes dried up and residents disappeared. Stop if you dare to explore their decaying towns and experience their spine-chilling happenings. Sounds of clanging metal in empty mines, a rush of cool air on a warm windless night, and the unexplained sightings in the vacant hotel make you feel that perhaps the ghost town isn't completely deserted after all, and that some inhabitants are still there. Ooh. You know what? I don't be playing with them spirits. I am too Caribbean to be out here chasing ghosts. Not today, Jesus. Not today, Satan. Why must I tempt my Lord like that? No, that's not what we're doing. And like I said, it's cruelty-free and vegan. So there are also no parabens, no sulfates, or mineral oil. So that's it. Again, I did receive this palette pretty early, so I don't have a price yet. But I will pop it up as soon as I have it, and it'll be down in the description box for you guys if you are planning to shop. All right, that's it for the product details and swatches. Let's dive into the 3 looks that I created using this palette, and then I'll come back at the end to give you my final first impressions thoughts. Okay, good morning. Oh, ugh. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so we are here and we're gonna get started with look number 1 from the new Nomad Ghost Town palette. I am so excited for this, guys. I do want to quickly show you all the pristine palette on camera because this, again, has not been touched or swatched in any way. So I want to do 3 looks with this, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 looks based on 2 columns. So I want to focus on these 2 because I think that's how they're arranged, right? This goes well with this goes well with these 3 shimmers, this goes well with these 3 shimmers. So for today, I'm going to create a neutral look with these 6 shades here. I do have a meeting at work today that I need to not look crazy for, which is why I'm sticking in the very neutral vein. So we're gonna try to keep this soft, super professional, you know. And yes, I know professional is subjective, but in my line of work, I need to keep it like old school professional. So I'm trying to not have too much shimmer or anything going on there. But I'm really excited to try this, and I say this knowing that I'm gonna put 3 shimmers on the lid, so we'll see how this goes. If not, I might wash this off before the next meeting. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go into the first shade in the column. This is called Undead Sheriff. Oh my God, the embossings on this is so cute. I hate messing these up. Now it's definitely a little bit of a grayish, and if you know Nomad, you know they don't play about their mattes. So I know the pigment in this is gonna be amazeballs. So I'm trying to be pretty soft-handed with it. I'm going in with a fluffy brush from an old Tarte collection that I've had. And when I say old, I mean this brush is maybe 5 years old or more. So, you know, take care of your brushes, and you definitely don't need to buy any more brushes. Yes, I'm talking to myself. So again, just plopping that into the crease as my transition shade for this look. Okay, and then you guessed it, we're going right down into Bandit Queen, and we're gonna start deepening things up. So picking a little bit of that up on my B5, I believe. Yep, this is my B5 brush from Blend Bunny. That's gonna go right underneath that first shade, mainly in the outer part of the eye to start deepening things up. Introducing the new me, and I bet you thought you knew me. And then lastly, I'm gonna go into Deadwood. It is the darkest shade in this column, and I'm gonna use that to deepen up the outer V. And I'm taking the same brush that I used for Bandit Queen. I'm going to start by placing that into the outer part of the eye and then blending it inwards. And as expected, these mattes are building and blending like standard Nomad mattes, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite matte formulas. I have 0 fallout here, so we're in good shape. And this is giving amazing depth with it deepened up before. And if you got a problem, you can sue me. Oh, baby, now I'm going for it. I'm a star in my own movie. The goal is to get the eyes as close as possible. I went a little bit too deep on this side, so I'm just trying to diffuse the edges out with the first brush that I used. So that's a little bit softer. But hey, the eyes don't have to be exact, and we will come back to the end and use a little bit more mattes to blend everything together so it feels a little bit more seamless. So it's okay, this is fine for where we are right now. We will come back and do some more blending at the end. Now all of this definitely pulls a little grayish on me, and I feel like it looks a little bit more brown in the pan except for this shade. But I like this. I like how it looks slightly different on the eyes, and it's not just a standard brown. Okay, let's start with the shimmers. So now we're actually going to start working backwards. So where we did light to dark in the mattes, we're going to go dark to light in the shimmers. So I'm going to start by putting this first shade called Garnet MT. I guess that's Garnet Montana. I'm not American, y'all. I don't know the abbreviations very well. Forgive me. I hope it MT's Montana. So I'm going to take my Unit 308 brush. This is from Beautylish. Oh, I'm ruining the embossing. Picking up that, and I'm going to put that into the outer part of the eye, blending it into the matte. picked up a little too much product there. Then I'm taking my reference number 2 and I'm gonna go into this shade. It's called Copper Penny. We're gonna put that right next to the first shade and blend it in.
If all days brown eyes, roots in my apartment, and we grew, passed by, plans were always falling. I know you need out sometimes, head on the glass by traffic lights. Thoughts never felt so blind, so we take off in amazing dive, driving circles, growing.
And lastly, I'm going to take my Sonia G Builder and I'm going to go into Tombstone, which is the lightest shade, lightest shimmer in this column. And I'm going to put that into the inner part of the eye. This is pretty. Okay, so you guys see where we are. You see how things are going. This is a very soft look, and that's partly because I went in with brushes. Now I want to try something very quickly to see if I can intensify this a bit. You know how I am. You know I love applying shadows with my fingers. I'm just going to go back into each shimmer shade, apply them to this eye with my finger to see if it intensifies the look, just so you guys can see the difference between a finger application versus a brush. Starting with that garnet shade. Copper Penny. Tombstone. It definitely intensified it a little bit. I wouldn't say it's looking crazy intense, but I definitely feel like I see a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna go even out the eyes, clean up the rest of this look by blending to get everything to the right sort of, you know, pigment and blend that I like. You know the drill. And then I'm gonna come back and show you guys the final look. And then we'll dive into maybe 2 more looks. Maybe 1, but I'm hoping to do 2. I wanna do 3 looks with this palette. Okay, so I'm back and this is look number 1. I think you could already tell from the look on my face, I love this. I am very happy. It is giving neutral glam. It's gonna be a good day. But let me quickly tell you guys what I'm wearing on the rest of my face so that I know what to link in the description box, even though I know I never link them. I'm sorry. It's a lot of work, y'all. I be trying. I really do be trying. But for my foundation, I'm actually wearing my Tom Ford. What is this called? It is the, I don't know what this is called, but it's the stick foundation from Tom Ford. Oh, it's the Traceless foundation. This is in the shade 9.5. I got this at the CCO for half off, maybe 60% off, because this is stupid expensive. So that's what I'm wearing as my foundation. My Sephora Micro Smooth Concealer and Setting Powder per usual. For the under eye, I'm still using my Pat McGrath Blurring Under Eye Powder in the shade Deep. For my bronzer, I did go in with my Dior bronzer. So very close to panning this. So I went in with my Dior bronzer today. For my blush, I'm using 2 because I like to mix and match. So I first started off with Rich Betch from One Size Beauty, and then I topped it off with an old MAC mineralized blush. This is in the shade Lovejoy. This has a little bit of shimmer to it, so that's what I'm wearing as my blush. And then for my highlight, I'm using, I think this is a was a limited edition product. It's a highlighter. It's the Magic Star highlighter from Charlotte Tilbury. That's what I'm using as my highlight, my brow bone highlight, and my inner corner highlight today. For my lips, I'm using the Toasty liner from Morphe. That's a older discontinued product. And I'm wearing Faith from Sydney Grace. This is one of their lip creams, which y'all know how I feel about the lip cream formula. And honestly, Tracy has some competition, you guys. Tracy has some competition because this. I don't know what I'm more excited by, the eyes or the lips, y'all. Anyways, and I did go ahead and set my face with the Glam Light setting spray. I don't know what this is supposed to do, you guys. Like, I think it's supposed to be mattifying. It does have a very strong alcohol smell to it, but I don't know. I don't think it lasts that long, but it did kind of suck things together, and it does make the face look really nice. And all right, so that's enough for me. This is look number 1. Let's go ahead and jump into look number 2. Okay, guys, we're back for look number 2. So you already know we're gonna go in with these 2 columns, sorry, the 2 columns right there. And this purple has to be a duochrome or multichrome or something because the color changes. Again, I'm doing these looks without having swatched the palette yet, so this is an experience for me and for you. So I'm just gonna swatch the 3 shimmers. I feel like this is a multichrome. I should have read before. Ooh. That's pretty. Okay, I want to do a halo eye, so I think I'm gonna stick with that. So I'm gonna start off with the lightest shade. It is called Skinner's Saloon. It's kind of like a blue-gray. Look at me making up words. And that's gonna be my transition shade, so that's gonna go right in the crease. Now this is a little bit deeper than I think I would have liked, but it's okay. I'm not complaining about depth because I spend way too much time begging brands to give us something that would work for more skin tones than just beige, light beige. So I will take depth anytime because I can blend it out. Like, you can't do anything with a light shade. Like, once it's light, it's light. But if it's deeper, you can diffuse it out and get it to be softer and lighter. So I appreciate the depth on this. Now, I did receive this palette in PR a couple of days before the release, and they sent this out before the postcards were ready. So I don't have any of the information about who, what organization is receiving the donations from this palette, what the shades are exactly. Like I said, that purple one looks like a duochrome, but I don't have that information right here. Actually, it might be on the back of the box. So let me check that and I'll get back to you guys on that. Actually, it'll be in the intro in the video. But like I said, I'm doing this just kind of going straight into the palette without having swatched it or looked at the product details. So I'm not sure about price, shades, formulas, all that, but we will eventually. Now I'm switching to the B5 blending brush because it is a little bit smaller in size. I was using my rougher number 27, which is a little bit of a bigger blending brush. And I'm switching to this one, like I said, because it's a little bit smaller in size. I want to get into the inner part of the eye here for this halo before I start building the other shades. Okay, and then sticking with the B5 brush, I'm going to go into Calamity Jane, which is one down from the lightest shade. It is a beautiful blue, tealy, turquoisey kind of shade. It's so pretty. So I'm gonna start by plopping that into the outer part of the eye. And then I'll also put a little bit of that into the inner part of the eye. So again, we're going for a halo today, guys. And blending. Blending. And because we're going for a halo, the intent is to leave that middle part open. I don't do halos very often, so if it comes out looking janky, it's because I haven't practiced in a while. So today, we are kind of practicing, kind of experimenting. A little bit of all that. So far, not bad. Not bad at all. And again, repeating that on this side.
Happens when it's over. After a drink, you say my name, but forget me when.
And I'm trying to be somewhat nimble here because you guys have no idea how much blending I cut out of these videos. Like, I cut out like at least 20 minutes of eyeshadow application because it's literally just me sitting here blending. I don't know. Like, for me, I have to see something that's smooth and like a great gradient, a nice transition, because I just can't do the harsh lines. So I spend a lot of time blending and then I edit 99% of it out so you guys don't have to watch me blend for an excessive amount of minutes per shade. Okay, so we have the two shades laid down. Next up, we're going into the last and final shade in this. It's called Dead Man's Hand. It's going to be this deep blue shade. Let me find a small brush. So I have my B1 and my B4 brush from the Blend Bunny set. I think I'm going to use the B4. This is a really, really good set if you have small eyes, if you have hooded eyes, if you're trying to do some precision work, some detail work. And because this is in some ways detail work for me, I'm gonna go in with this brush because I need something that's gonna get right up into the crevices where I need to. So again, we're going into No Man's Hand, or Dead Man's Hand. Sorry. And we're gonna plop that into the outer corner. We're gonna start blending that into that second shade. It's kind of blending together actually. So did we need both of these? Maybe not. But maybe they show up differently in somebody that's not me. Because that's a real thing. But yeah, let's just plop that into the inner and outer parts of the eye, blending it into that first shade. The second shade. And then we'll go back in with the second shade and, you know, get a cleaner blend.
I don't pick up at all. I got nothing left to say.
Ooh, this is looking awesome. And again, we're going for that halo eye, so we're just leaving the center part wide open. So I love how this is looking. Let's repeat on this eye.
We lose control with the lights low. We're so good at playing games, but what happens when it's over? After a drink, you say my name.
Okay, so we're getting there. But now it's time for the shimmers. The shimmers. I've decided that I'm gonna start with the purple, kind of in the outer part of the halo, and then I'm probably gonna put this in the middle, and then I'm gonna use this in the waterline somewhere. Because this is a dual chrome. Like, I've decided it's a dual chrome, so I feel like I'm seeing shifts in there.
We're so good at playing games, but what happens when it's over?
Actually, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put it in the entire center part of the eye. We're making game time decisions here. But I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this in the center part of the eye. I'm gonna use the lightest shade as my inner corner highlight, so I know it won't be giving you guys much to see, but I think that's what it's gonna do. And then I will put the blue shade in the waterline, the blue shimmer. Although part of me is tempted to put a little bit of the blue shimmer in the center of this as well to see what it does.
We're so good at playing games.
Should I? Maybe I'll plop a little bit of the blue in the center and see what drama I can cause. Or it's just gonna look like shit and it'll be my fault, so.
I'll never get closure, no, 'cause you're spoken for.
Okay, so I added the purple and I took it a little bit further out than the actual space I left, and that's because I'm gonna go back into the deep shades and I'm gonna blend it so that it's not this harsh line down the middle. So don't worry about that. That is what we're gonna do. You know the drill. You blend, you blend, you blend until it doesn't look like you have lines on your face. But because I am a psycho, I am gonna take a little bit of the blue and I'm plopping it right in the middle on top of that purple shade. Giving a little bit of iridescence, which I'm not mad at. So I was just curious to see what this would do.
We're so good at playing games, but what happens when...
Well, okay then. So this is what the eyes are looking like. You guys see the vision. You see where this is going. I'm gonna go, you know, blend until my heart is content. We're gonna get rid of these harsh lines. We're gonna make this gradient look like a real gradient, and then I'll come back and show you guys the final look.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm thinking it over. Wonder if you ever told her. No, cause you're spoken for. No, cause you're spoken for. We're so good at playing.
Okay, y'all, this is the final look. This turned out even better than I could have expected. Like, what? Who? Okay, just so that you guys know what I did for the rest of my face, for the waterline, I went back in with these two mattes in the outer and inner parts, and then the blue shade in the center of the waterline. And let's talk about the rest of the face products. I'm using my Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick with my Sephora Micro Smooth Powder, concealer, and my Pat McGrath Under Eye Blurring Powder for my bronzer. I'm still using the Dior bronzer, along with the One Size blush and the MAC blush that I used, I think, the last time as well. For my lips, I'm using my Toasty liner, but I went back to my girl Tracy. She's still that girl. But all these lip creams, amazing mom. And highlight, I'm using Divine Rose from Pat McGrath. I think that was a limited edition one as well. So yeah, that's this face. I need to do one more look for you guys. I do not want to wash this off. I keep looking at myself. I'm like, this is it. Okay. So this is look number 2. Let's go ahead and dive into look number 3. Like I said, we're going column by column. So I did these two columns, these two columns. Now let's go into these two columns for the final look. Okay guys, welcome back. We are here for the third and final look. And yes, I'm sounding a little bit rushed because I probably have 30 minutes before I need to get my life together. So you already know we're going into these last 2 rows. So we're going to start with the lightest shade. It's the green. It's called Ghost Town. I'm picking that up on my BH Cosmetics Professional Flat brush number 5. And we're going to put that right into the crease. Then taking my Morphe E22, we're going to go into Stagecoach Mary. And that's going to go right underneath that first shade to start deepening things up. I'm going to clean off that Morphe brush and go into the last shade in that column. It's called Arrested Decay, and I'm going to use that as my outer V color. Okay, I love how this is looking so far. This is nice and quick and easy. So we're going to go from dark to light with the shimmers as well. So we're going to start off with Smoky Quartz. I'm going to pick this up with my finger. Ooh, that's pretty. And I'm plopping it right into the outer part of the eye here. I accidentally dug my nail into this one yesterday and screwed it up, so I had to repress it, which is why it looks a little janky. Then taking my index, we're gonna go into Calico, California. Ooh, I've been so excited to, oh my Jesus, to put this on the eyes. This is stunning.
Ooh, you got a little black soul, give a shadow in the sun wherever you go. Got no friends and nothing to show for it, you little black.
Oh, I just went into the last one. And last we were gonna go into Gold Rush. Sorry, just moving right ahead. So we have Calico, this one's Gold Rush. And I'm just gonna plop that into the inner part of the eye and blend that into that foot shade. Oh, those two look very similar next to each other. Okay, so you guys see the vision. This is what we're going for. We have the 3 shimmers laid down and the 3 mattes. I'm gonna go blend, clean everything up, and then I'll come back, show you guys the final look, and then we'll dive into my final first impressions, thoughts, now that I've tried every single shade in this palette, and I've done 3 looks, which is not what I typically do, so I hope you all appreciate it.
One day we'll tell stories of your stories. One day we'll tell stories of your...
Okay, I'm back, and this is the final look. She cute. I'm very happy with this, but I always love green eyeshadow, so I don't know. But let me quickly tell you guys what's on the rest of my face. So, you know, I'd be saying I'll put this in the description box, and I haven't done it yet, so just let it go. Just let it go. But for my foundation, I'm wearing the Lancome Tante Idole foundation. Of course, my Sephora concealer and face powder, my Pat McGrath under eye blurring powder, which I think I've hit pan on, you know, like, or at least you could see the imprint of the pan. We almost there. We almost done with that. For my bronzer, this is an old one, but honestly, it's a really, really good one, and I think it's stood the test of time. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer. For my blush, I'm wearing a one-size blush, but not Rich Betch. I'm actually wearing the Fire Starter one. This is the orange one, because I don't know, just something about orange and green goes really well together, and I think there's a little bit of gold in here that could pull this together really, really nicely. And then I also went back in with my ABH Iced Out Highlighter. This was a limited edition one, so I don't think it's available, but this has a very yellow golden tint to it, so I think it pulls everything together really nicely. And then I just threw Tracy on. I couldn't find my Fenty gloss, and I don't want to do anything too crazy because, like I said, I'm going out, and when in doubt, put Tracy on the mouth. That's gonna be my catchphrase. It's not. I just thought of that, and I thought it was hilarious. I wanted to share with you guys. So I have Tracy on from Sydney Grace. This is one of their lip creams. You guys know this is a holy grail of mine. I have 3 of these. Play with my Tracy. Okay, let's talk about the Nomad palette, because you guys, that's what you came here for. I think you can tell I like it. I think that this is the same excellent Nomad quality. The mattes blend to perfection. I love the ratio of mattes to shimmers. Like, it's half and half. We have 3 columns of mattes, 3 columns of shimmers, and I like the fact that I could pair it kind of like 2 columns at a time and come up with a look. Obviously, you could mix and match as you see fit, so there's definitely no issues there. The other thing too I want to make sure I acknowledge, because not every brand does this, is the depth in this palette. Nomad has always done a really great job, except for that France palette, of making sure that the shades perform on multiple skin tones. So you'll see here that the lighter shades still have a pretty good amount of depth to them, so that I can use them as a transition shade and it doesn't look ashy or dusty on me. And then it goes to the deepest. This actually reminds me a lot of Blend Bunny, the way in which they formulate their palettes, where you start with the lighter shade and you end with the deepest shade. I feel like we saw that with these columns. So you have a light matte and then 2 complementary mattes that get deeper as you go down the column. So yes, absolutely love it. I think these shimmers also perform really well. They're definitely on the creamy side, so I feel like they apply pretty nicely with a finger. But I wonder if this is going to crease for others. This doesn't crease for me. I have no creasing when it comes to Nomad shadows. I also don't have oily lids, so I never really experienced creasing as a problem. But I would love to hear from others if you guys have that issue. Now, a couple of things that I do want to point out because, you know, I'm going to give you all the pros and the cons, the goods and the bads. The goods? Why did I use, you know what? The good and the bad. So, a couple of things. These two mattes, this one is definitely more green leaning, this one is more blue leaning, but when placed next to each other on the eye, they kind of look the same, at least on me. It might be my complexion, it might be my undertone, but I found that these pretty much look the same when placed together, with the exception of this one having slightly more depth to it. So, of course, there's a little bit of a redundancy there. Similarly, these two shimmers look the same placed next together. So this green one and then this goldish green one. Like, if you were to look at my eye, could you very distinctly tell that I had three shimmers on the eyes, actually. So the darker silvery blue one, and then the green one, and then the gold. I feel like the gold blended into the green, and they kind of look the same when placed together next to each other. I also think that there are some similarities between these two shimmers. So when I look at the palette, even though I can see how both of these rows go down very well, I have to give you guys the raw truth. I do think that there are some similarities with some of these shades, but like I say, skin tone, undertone, all of that could impact the way in which this will show up on your complexion. That being said, I'm not mad at this at all. I love this palette. I think it performed really well. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to wonder, how does this compare to Haunted Europe? So let me just quickly show you the Haunted Europe palette. This was the first Halloween release from the brand. I think this is the second palette I purchased from the brand. And it has the same kind of imagery where it like shifts from one picture to the next. So they kept the theme going with this one, which I thought was really cool. And I hope it becomes their Halloween thing. And this is the color story on this one. So definitely different. Actually, in my opinion, a little bit brighter because you have the bright pink, you have some purples, a little bit of green. So I feel like this one offers a lot of like brighter options in addition to the sort of darker smoky options compared to this one. But let me show you both of these together so you can get a sense of... Jesus, please don't drop this. So here you have it. They are sisters, cousins. They're not similar by any means. So if you have one, I don't think you're going to have any duplicates in this whatsoever. So if you were worried about these being redundant, I think that these are two very different palettes. I think you're going to get two very different sets of looks out of this. So if you wanted to pick up both, I don't think that you have to worry about it being too similar or too duplicative. Oh, I need to reach for this one more. And I also remember the Haunted Europe palette when I picked it up. And this is an older palette in my collection. The shimmers in here are a lot squishier. So I don't know if they've reformulated it with new batches, but this one definitely has a different shimmer formula to this one. And I think I like the shimmers in this one better. So just something to be mindful of if you're planning to shop this palette. Now, this video should be going up today. And we'll see. I'm going to try to edit it real quick for you all. It should be going up today. I don't yet have the release date, but I will include all of that information in the description box as well as I will try to pop it up here so you guys can see when it goes live. And like I said in the intro, I am now officially an affiliate with Nomad Cosmetics. So that means every time you use my code, I make a small commission. That is not something you have to do if you're not comfortable with it. You can use somebody else's code. There are a number of people who have codes with Nomad that are either affiliated or non-affiliated. Choose one. I don't care what you use. Choose one. Just make sure you don't pay full price for that, because we don't pay full price for makeup here. That's not our thing, okay, guys? So, like I said, if you use my code, I will get a small commission and you will get 10% off of your purchase. As of right now, I don't be making that much money off of this content creation. So all of the money that I make from like codes and YouTube AdSense goes back into the channel. So it is, of course, appreciated, but definitely not required whatsoever. All right, and I don't even think I told you guys, but my code is just Jamila. Across all of the platforms, it's just Jamila, my name, and that will typically give you 10% off. So, should you buy it? That's up to you, boo. I'm not going to tell nobody what to do with their money. So if you like it, if you're interested in it, I do think it's a good palette. I do think it's excellent quality. So if you are interested in picking it up, I completely understand that. If you want to wait for a sale, totally understand that as well. Black Friday is literally right around the corner. Yes, we're still in August, but you know, Black Friday is coming up really soon. There will be bigger discounts. So if you don't need it right away, you can definitely 100% wait for it. One thing I do try to do with these videos when I get stuff in PR is let you know if I would have purchased this on my own. And yes, I would have. I actually really like the Nomad Cosmetics formula. I know it's not for everyone, but I really do like it. And this is a palette that honestly, from watching the color story, I would have been intrigued and I would have picked it up. And it might not have been a full price because I don't believe in that, but I would have picked it up eventually. So just wanted you guys to know, had I not received it in PR, I definitely would have paid my own money to get this palette. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me do 3 looks and share my first impressions, thoughts on the brand new Nomad Cosmetics Haunted, that's not what it's called, Ghost Town palette. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought about the looks, which look was your favorite, and whether you plan to pick up this palette. And if you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, join the fam. I know I gave you all 6 videos this week. That's not the norm, but there is still going to be a ton of content coming next week and in all the weeks. So don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you will get notified every time I upload a video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much more than you know. Be safe, have a time, and I'll catch y'all in my next one. Bye!